The other day I was screwing around with a video on the editing software, and sometimes I have time to look around in there. Sometimes I just gotta get things out of the way. It's getting late. Those days everything seemed to be running smoothly. And I found a record. Put you there. Put my phone here. When it's in this particular pocket and I'm squeezing in and out of places, it's going to get jammed up. Yes, it is. Well, I got this generator in here too, the Yamaha. I bought the Yamaha for the boat. And it's not that we needed one, because there was one on the boat. But the one that was on the boat, I gotta get a saw and cut that off. The one that was on the boat was water cooled, so it took in salt water. So when it was on land, you really couldn't use it. Especially if you're doing something and it's cold out. Because you don't want to start using any of the water pumps or anything that's on the boat, because you've winterized it. So when we weren't living on the boat, we'd go down there, when the weather was like today, and we'd start working on the boat. Well, trying to find an active water hose. It has a couple of well water, where you have water 24/7, 365. But you always make sure you took your hose off it, and it was off. It wouldn't freeze as long as you took your hoses off it and such. But meanwhile, you got 400 or 500 boats in the yard, and you may have 3 or 4 of those well water throughout the yard, and the same with power. So what I just bought the Yamaha, and I bought that big, I think it's a 50-gallon water tank, which is under there, and I used to load it in the van, or on a little trailer, because we did have a little trailer at the time. And I would, well, Darlene and I, we would go down there. There's an old iron for you. Darlene and I would go down there, and we have our gallons of water so we can wash the boat down if we wanted to. We had the generator so we can run anything we needed to run as far as inside. We didn't have to worry about finding power. We didn't have to run 400 feet of extension cord if we did find power. Okay, this is actually going to go out there, but I think I'm going to buy another one of these for in here. That's a nice hose, and it was priced right. Okay, these are stakes for putting your fence into the ground on the bottom, or big tent ties, stuff like that. I forgot how many there were in here, I should say. But they were cheap. I was surprised. Darlene found them on Amazon. There's 16 of them in here, and I believe they were $12. $11.99. Those are going to go out there. See, the ones I know where they're going to go, I'm going to bring them right there. This other stuff I don't know yet. I have to go through it. These are a couple of grabbers. The bottom one. Grab. And the top one is a little bit longer. Grab. I keep these in here, so these are going to stay. I think I'm just going to hang them up over here, where I have the other stuff hanging. All right, what's this? Paracord. It's always nice to have a little paracord later on. I go through that a lot. A couple of these. You can use these for dogs. Run them all the way down. And what we used to do is we tie the clip to this part. We'd run this in, alright, but we'd leave 2 or 3 inches out. We wouldn't tie it to this. If you tie it to that and they start running around, even if it's down low, they're going to start dealing with it and it's going to get all tangled up. If it's down here and you got a hook on it, if they run around, the hook has a habit of turning with it most of the time. Here I said most of the time. Doesn't necessarily all the time. Get these screws out of here. Put them, I guess I can put them back where they belong. Right here. There, that was easy enough. These I keep hung up in the other shed. So put that right there. But that's going in the other shed. This is going to stay out here, and I use these for weights. This, I did something with that, that's why the ends are rounded. But that goes in the wood pile up front. This is wire. This is like a doorbell wire. It's 3-strand, yeah, and it's stiff. So it's used for doorbells. Well, this is 4, so this could also be used for phone lines and stuff. I know we don't keep that in here, so that's not going to stay. Hose, I do keep hose in here. It's up here with the other stuff. Put that back in there. Okay, oh stop it. You're on the other side, you're crying out loud. Okay, so what do we have in here? That's useless. Oh, now you gotta bark at the train, huh? Okay. This. Oh, that's right. I was looking for this. I would have never found it. I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing. Here's a relay board. This is a relay board for a servo. That is what? Oh, that's a wire tie thing. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say there should be a couple of them. More bulbs, more bulbs, more bulbs. This is garbage. This is a water pump. This is a bracket. This is going to go over there with that other stuff. But this is all going to go in drawers. And all the drawers are over here. That bracket's going to go up front with the other brackets. Squeeze my thin self through here. That's a new elbow. The downspout is new, but the elbow is new. This is garbage. I can't throw it on the floor because somebody will get it. Do you remember that little drawer thing? Well, it's not drawers, but there's little slots in it. And I got those dog food things in there. It's in the center part. Well, I used to be back here, and I used to keep these things in it. And these. Why I have these, what we use these for, I have the stainless and I have the black nylons. But Darlene and I were coming back from Port Jeff one day. We went over there for coffee and hung out for a few minutes. And coming back, we got hit with a bit of a storm. It wasn't a storm per se, but we had some heavy winds coming in. And with Long Island Sound, the winds coming in from the west can be a real pain in the ass. They can run those waves right up. Right up. So we were coming back from Port Jeff, and we're heading northeast a bit. or actually northwest, I'm sorry. North, leave it at north. And we pull out of Port Jeff, and then we head north. I believe that's my baby coming home. I gotta change the tone. Okay, baby, I love you. So anyway, we had our, what did we have? We had our 36-foot formula at the time, which was good. Had a good beam. It was a good V. It was a, actually it was a deep V, but great. Deep Vs are great for cutting through, but they're lousy if you're sitting still. But anyway, we're coming through. On the front, there's actually pictures of the boat someplace. Because my sons, Bruce and Mark, hello, and a friend of theirs, we all went over to Port Jeff for the weekend. It was a good time. You know. Somehow or other, they ended up on another part in the Hamptons someplace because they met up with a couple of chickies, and the next thing you know, the chickies gave them a ride to the party, and but then trying to get a ride back. Hello, yeah. All right, they can't call me because I haven't got my car. I'm on the boat, but at that point, I had cushions on the front. I had two rails, and then I had cushions, and it was long enough to where two average-sized people can lay on those cushions. They were, I don't know, maybe 30 inches by 100 and something, and they were held down with these clamps, these clips. So Darlene and I were coming back one day, and we got hit with these west winds, and the waves were coming up, and they're coming over the side, so you're riding into them, and then out, and in and out, and next thing you know, the cushions got blown off. Broke them. You know, they just hit it right to where, you know, I'm coming up, I'm riding it down, and the wind come under, got underneath it, poof, and away it went. Well, these cushions cost a few bucks, so I decided I'm going to retrieve it. So I put on my life jacket, and I told Darlene, take the helm. I says, and when you see that cushion in front of you, just kind of go off to the port side a little bit and let it come up alongside of you so you can see it over here. But when you start coming up on it, and as you start to lose sight of it for a minute, shut the engines neutral. Don't shut them down, put them in neutral. And then at that point, when they start coming by the boat, I jumped and tied myself to the swim platform with a boat hook, and I was able to grab them. And I got them on board, then I took the helm and came in. But meanwhile, when I got back, I went and I bought a bunch of these and put them back on. So that's where those came from. Usually there's a story behind everything that's in here. Some boring, some exciting, some good, some bad, some dangerous, some not so dangerous. Me getting caught in heavy winds is a almost like an everyday thing for some reason. Seems like I was always getting caught. I went with a friend who bought a boat in the Point Judith area, all the way up in. And he said, Buzz, can you come with us? You know, help us with the navigation, blah, 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 help with the boat. I said, yeah, that's not a problem, Dan. So we went up there, and we had Doc with us. Doc was an old fisherman from way back whenever. What is this? 6-inch finish trim. That's real light. Hold on a minute, I'll be right back. Yeah. So anyway, he bought a bridge, 35-foot Carver. That was a bridge boat. Nice boat. However, you can tell that whoever owned it was more of a dock and dine because as far as usage, just the way they had things set, you were thinking, no, they can't be using this boat. You know, they could have, but they weren't going to go far. You know, if anything, they may have gone out of the channel a little bit and just dropped anchor so they can hang out up there. But more of a dock and dine. And it was the last marina. So you had to go into the point and then all the way up. Well, coming down, Danny's got the helm. And this is what makes it tough. I mean, it's his boat. You know, he wants to operate it. You know, and I understand that. But, you know, don't ask me to look at something or do something if I don't know the boat. For instance, the GPS and the radar. We're coming down, and he said, Buzz, which way do I go? And I'm looking. I said, well, the GPS should tell you. He goes, no, it's a chart plotter. So I get up there, and I look at it real quick. I said, no, you got to go to the port side. Well, whoever had the boat had it set up for north up, which means north was behind us. We should have been going to the starboard side. Now, where we ended up was in an area where there was a bunch of moorings and boats, so it was okay, but we had to navigate in between all these things. So anyway, we ended up getting ready to pull out of Point Judith. And as you're coming out of Point Judith, there's a large wall on your starboard side as you're coming out. And we're looking, and this is probably 1,000 yards or better long. And we're looking, I'm seeing, and we're up on the bridge with Doc and Kathy, his wife. And there's waves coming over that wall. I said, Danny, there's waves coming over that wall. You know, maybe we should hang in there a little bit. Well, let's see. So we pull out, and there's a little opening, and then the wall continues. But he pulls out of that little opening, and we're getting slammed, big time. You know, because we're right out in the open. So at that point, we're saying, you know, yeah. So we turn around, and we get back in. And trying to turn around when you got wind and waves coming at you, it's a little tough. You got to make sure you time it right, be ready to go, be ready to stop. Anyhow, we get turned around and we get in. We go up to the dock, the first dock there. This was on a Sunday. And you know, the guy said, no, tie up at the end. So we're right on the tee, right at the end. Just tie up, don't worry about it. So we tied up. We went and had something to eat. And we came back. And we can see the wall. So they're looking and said, what do you think? I said, to be honest with you, I don't think we should try it. But it's getting late, so if we're going to try it, you know, we've got to make the move. Because in a couple hours, 3 hours tops, it's going to start getting dark. Quick. So they're thinking. Now, what do you think? We should just stay here. All right? Go get some food, get some coffee, blah, blah, blah. Everything you need is on the boat. Yeah, but we haven't got anything to cover with, to sleep with. We haven't got our night clothes with us. What are you thinking here, guys? You know what I mean? Right? The boat's got heat on it. We have power. You know, everything works. You know, we have coffee. We can heat it up in the microwave. We can buy something to eat, heat it up in the microwave. You know, everybody can find a home. I'll sleep on the sofa in the dinette area. Doc is going to sleep on the sofa because it was a big wraparound, and those two can sleep up in the forward berth. Yeah. But anyway, we should go. All right, I got my life jacket on. I got my GPS with me, portable, the white one. You guys seen that? And I have my handheld radio with me. Batteries are all charged. So they're all tethered to me. I have my searchlight that's tethered to me. So I says to them, listen guys, you know, if we end up capsizing there, you know, just try to stay together. You know, I'd recommend trying to find a piece of line. Right? I had an 8-foot piece of float rope, thin stuff, wrapped up in my pocket. Right? But anyway, I says, this here way at least we can stay together and tether together, you know. So we don't have any line. All right. Well, anyway, Kathy starts getting seasick, motion sickness. She's on the bridge with us, and you can tell she keeps looking down, and she keeps, you know, you can tell she wants to throw up. And I told her, Kathy, if you want, go down, but don't go in. Sit on the back deck, sit in the middle. You'll be lower, you'll be centered, so you're not going to feel this as much. But don't go inside. I go down to check on her. Where is she? She's inside, sitting on the sofa, off to the side of the boat, you know, inside. So I says, and she's, You know, so she goes into the bathroom to finish her whatever she had left, you know, and I go back up because I'm trying to keep an eye on them because it's bad. Right? We seen a Coast Guard cutter out there that was going in. You follow? I mean, that's how bad it was. And it started to get foggy during the day, rain, fog. I mean, it was just miserable. You were lucky you were able to see anything in front of you. All right? Well, what do I do? What do I do? So I pull out my GPS, you know, because I had a little bit of a chart route. So I says, well, we should be coming up on a waypoint over there, and there should be a buoy over here coming up. I said, so keep an eye open as much as we can and listen because it's a bell, which was impossible to hear anything. Doc says, no, we got to go this way. So I'm looking at Danny and I'm shaking my head, no. You know, in other words, don't listen to Doc. You know, he can't tell where we are. You can't see where we are. So, you know, the GPS is kind of giving me an idea where we're at. It wasn't a chart plotter, but like I said, I had a route in there. All right? And I wanted to get us in behind Fisher's Island. Once we got in behind Fisher's Island, the water would calm down. So that's what I'm working on. You know, and meanwhile, she's downstairs barfing. Doc's up telling him to go this way and go that way. I get up there, I says, check your radar. You know, and where do you have it set? How do you, you know, I just left it like it was. Well, check your radar. Tell me if you see anything that looks like an island out there. Usually you can tell an island, you know, and shore, because Fisher's Island wasn't far off. I mean, you know, very, very close. But anyway, too far to swim, but yeah, it was close. I said, and see if you can see that marker, because there might be, you might be able to see it. I don't know how they had it set up. I didn't have a chance to check all this, you know. So at that point, he says, I think I see something. He said, there's a small dot there. He says, but it comes and goes. Well, that's because we're in 12-foot seas. That's one of the reasons why Kathy went inside, because she's sitting in the middle of the boat on the back deck against the sliders, and she's looking at the water coming in, coming down. It's not coming down on us. We're staying ahead of it, but it's coming down, you know, and then it scoops up and brings you up, you know, and you get that whoosh, you know. So that's why she went inside. So at that point, the ceiling and everything fell off the boat inside, off the bathroom. The shit fell off the walls. I mean, it was bad. They were big waves, you know. We were lucky. We really were. But he did find the buoy. I said, follow that. I said, that's probably it. You know, and you're seeing it when it goes up and down, and we're going, you know, so in the passing of the up and down, you know, you're seeing it, or when it hits its high spot, you're seeing it. I says, and, you know, not far behind that, you know, a couple hundred yards, you should see a landmass, you know, a blob. You go, oh, yeah. I said, well, that's Fisher's Island. We want to get behind that. You know, but that's one we got caught in. And then Darlene and brother-in-law, sister-in-law got caught coming out of Martha's Vineyard. We're coming down past Cuddy Hunk, Martha Vineyard's, yeah. And you have your east and west passage coming out of Narragansett Bay area. You have Buzzards Bay, Cuddy Hunk, and the Vineyard all meeting in one place with high winds, and we had a 32-foot at the time Wellcraft, which held up very well. If I was to buy another boat, that's probably what I would look for. You know, an 89, 90 Saint-Tropez Wellcraft, 32-foot, twin 350s, or we had 50. I forgot what we had in there. Anyway, we had twin 50. Anyway, it ran nice. Had a modified V. It was a good riding boat. So anyway, coming out of that, that's another one we're going up and down. So now we're going right past Point Judith. You know, okay. You know, and Rouse said, you know, we should see if we can get in there. We're handling it. Let's see if we can get in behind Fisher's Island. Yeah, yep. But it actually blew the hatches off the front of the boat, off the bow, blew the hatches right off the boat. We had to have them replaced, new ones, frames and everything. But yeah, it blew the hatches off the boat. Those were 8 to 10s. And then we were going from Brantford to Stratford on another bridge boat with somebody that really didn't know boating at all. At all. And the wife had asked me, you know, can we go? Can I go with him? Yeah. You know, she said, we already got a car there. I said, okay. So, you know, so we can get back. Because they were moving from there to Stratford. It was closer to home. So at that point, we get on, and away we go. Just as we're starting to pass Milford and start heading into the Bridgeport area, more towards Milford, it started getting rough. Here comes that west wind again. You know, I'm telling you. Yeah, and here we go again. Now we're in 6 to 7 footers, and his starboard engine quits. Oh, we don't want to be adrift in those waves with that wind. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So he says, can you run that home? I'm going to go down there and see if I can get it started. Yeah. Okay. So I'm running it with just one engine, and I'm trying to make sure somehow, I keep talking to his wife, you know, keep him away from that engine. Keep him away from that engine. You know, because you're getting down there, you're in a room where it's kind of tight, you know, and you're checking things. You don't want to get caught up in a fan belt, you know, or a fan of the other engine, or even the tranning. I believe he had V drives, which means the engine was facing the opposite direction, and then it had another drive. So the shaft went in, and then it came back out this way. It was a V drive. So you can get caught up in the what you call it. So at that point, I said, you know, just keep reminding him, you know, but don't annoy him, don't nag him, you know, because I'm going to be running this other one, and let him know if I have a problem, I'm going to goose it, you know, vroom, vroom, to let him know there's a problem, you know, get your ass out of there, you know. But at that point, we finally got into Stratford. I think it was Stratford. It was the Housatonic River. I know that. Was it Stratford? No, it was the Housatonic. Right, so we didn't have far to go once we entered Milford, because Milford and the Housatonic's right there. So, all right, anyway, I'm going to get the blower.